Hi everyone, my name is Aditya. I'm just playing around with some new camera angle, but I apologize for the long delay. This is video almost after a week. It's the end of the week, and I didn't have a chance to post any videos earlier. But I've made a few changes, even though there were some delays. I hope that this video will give you a good progress update on what I've been working on, and I'll just get right into the demo, and then we'll start with the actual updates that I've gone. You can go through it. And as always, I'll just give you this short intro. This is Launchbase, this new project I'm working on. If this is the first time you're watching this video, part of this long series, I'm going to have some text in the description where you can learn more about the project and watch the concept video where I'm introducing the idea for the first time. And if anyone, if you guys seem interested in what I'm doing, if you want to work, just give me feedback or suggestions. Greatly appreciated in the comments, or you can directly reach out to me. I'll give information in the description. And if you're a developer and if you want to work, contribute to the project, everything's open source. I'm trying to make it very transparent. It's on GitHub. This video will also have a second part where I'll walk through the code that I've actually worked on. So if you're interested, you can actually contribute, reach out to me, contribute, and be a part of this project. So hopefully that short intro was good, and now I'm going to get into the actual demo. So I've done quite a few changes. Unfortunately, I didn't actually push it out to GitHub, so if you're monitoring that page, you might not be able to see it, but I'll try and walk you through some of the changes that I've done. So the first change is when you go backstage, basically the settings, and you go to email settings, I now actually show what email you have logged in with and an optional backup email. So you log in for the first time, you will have your primary email, backup email, we don't know, you've not set it yet, and we'll give you an option to set it. So at later points, if you want to change it or add a new backup email, you will have an option by clicking on this edit icon, a pop-up will come, and then we will um, you know, basically the exact same look and feel as a login and sign up. We tell you to give the email, then we'll have another box that shows up where we send you a code. You enter that code in that second box. If everything's good, it's verified, and we'll display it over here. So that actual verification process, it's a little tricky because it's basically the login and sign up, but we need to do a couple more checks. Because let's say you change your primary email, we need to make sure no one else has the same primary email, and to swap. So remove this email, add the new one. Adding a backup email again. This a lot of checks and validations that you need to do, and I felt that was not really a priority. Anyways, when you log in for the first time, we verify that email is actually legitimate and you have access to it. So I'm just going to push this to the end. This is one of our least priorities right now. So I just created that API. We retrieve the email, we display it over here. That's about it. I'm going to focus on editing this later. So these icons basically don't work right now. So that is this. And then what I started working on is the published idea. So the last few videos I was showing you how the draft works. So any of these drafts, right, you can open them up, and then when we realize, okay, this is a private draft, we make the page look like this. So we have an option for you edit it, save it. This is basically exactly how the creation of the draft actually works. We just give you an option to edit it, and then at the bottom we have options to edit your team members, invite new people, and then complete these executive actions, either leaving the idea or publishing the idea. But if it's a published idea, it was before blank because we need to see how we handle that information and display to the users. So that's what I worked on recently. So now you can see the URL is basically the same. So when I reload the page, you can see this moment it says loading data. So when I detect that it's a published idea, I change the layout or the structure of the page. So now what I do is center line, we have this text, the actual name of the idea, a small short description. This is basically what you see over here. This small description that we display, that's going to be the one in italics right over here. Then we're going to have horizontal, I don't know if you can call it horizontal list. Basically this horizontal section. So I hope you can see my cursor. So this entire area is going to be the list of members part of this project. So right now it's just me, so you see one person, and this is just how we have the draft idea. We have the name followed by the person's handle. You can see that this is a clickable link at the bottom of the page. You can see the URL. So if I click on this, it will take me to my profile. This page is not ready yet, but that's how it would theoretically work. And then below that you have the actual explanation of the idea. So I'm thinking anyone who publishes an idea on Launchbase, it's probably definitely going to be more than 2 paragraphs, because you're coming up with a new concept idea for the first time. You really want to give people a flavor for what's actually going in your head, what's your ambition, how you're planning of coming about this idea. And just a couple of sentences is not going to cut it. And it's tough to really explain what you have in your head unless you give some really detailed explanations. So I'm thinking this is going to be a long section. Obviously for testing it's just a short one. And then you're going to have a section where you're allowed to post additional links. So I understand that just text is not going to work. You can post YouTube videos, maybe it can be unlisted or private, completely your wish. Or maybe a Google Drive link or a Dropbox link, anything, additional documents, videos, anything that would provide your users additional context to how your idea is going to look, what's your plan. So that's going to be the link section. Then you have a button to upvote. So if you really like the idea, if you want to show your interest, you can click on upvote, which is basically how upvotes work on any other platform. It's like liking a video on YouTube or giving an upvote on any other platform like Product Hunt or something like Reddit. So we can rank the ideas based on how recent they are or how many upvotes they are. So that is this. And then at the bottom section you're going to have comments, which, yes, I'm going to have this heading called comments. Inside this box you're going to have all the comments, but it's not going to look like this. Currently it's blank. The comment section is quite tricky. There's a lot of work that I need to do, and the API isn't ready, so I'm working on the API right now. One of it is ready, so you can create comments right now, but viewing the comments, editing them, deleting them, that's going to take some time, because there's a lot of validation that I need to do. So I need to think through this and work on the API first. But that's what I've worked on currently. I'll just show you one other idea. So, you know, I don't need to, but just to show you how it might look. Yeah. So if you take this is how it looks when you have multiple members. So you can see I 3 members, it just keeps adding on, side by side. And if it expands beyond the page, this becomes horizontally scrollable. So you can just use your cursor or mouse or whatever and then scroll horizontally. So that's what I'm thinking. And as you can see over here, multiple paragraphs, it's going to just keep flowing. And I don't want to, make this too complex, at least for now. I'm thinking maybe in the future we can allow some simple formatting. Maybe use something like the Quill.js editor. Basically you want to bold a text, make it italics, increase the font size, a few simple formatting options. I'm thinking maybe we can make it possible. I For now I don't want to do it because one thing, it increases the complexity. Second thing is, the more formatting options we allow, the look and feel of the page is going to change. I don't want to allow people to um, uh, you know uh, change the style of the text that's actually visible on the page. So even if there was formatting options, it would be very basic. And second thing is, it's all about the content. It's not about how well it looks. This is literally an idea. You don't have anything. It's just the idea on paper, nothing else. So the content is all that matters, and there's no point in you formatting stuff and making it look pretty and more presentable. It really doesn't matter. And the other thing is, even if it just keeps going pages and pages, let's say you have 20 paragraphs, I don't care. That is your idea, that is your dream, and users have to read everything. You can give comments, you can upvote the idea if you've not gone through every line. So I don't want to minimize this and just show the first 2 paragraphs or anything like that. Doesn't matter. If you have an idea, if you feel it's a little complicated, you want to give 20 paragraphs, it's up to you. It's not ideal, but that's your choice. Let the readers read everything, and then at the end they can decide if they want to upvote, give comments, share their feedback. So that's what I'm thinking for now. What I'm going to do is jump over to the code, show you a couple of changes that I've done, and this is mainly for the programmers who want to contribute. So this is Visual Studio Code. You can see a couple of files open. I'm still working on the changes. Let me just go through the latest comments so I don't miss out on anything. Um, Updated email settings UI. This was the first change I did. So let me just try and open it. This is email.js. So I told you right in the email page, we're actually displaying the email ID. So that was the first change I did. So I already had this get email settings route. I just added I along with retrieving information about, is the user having a public email, are they subscribed to updates. I also retrieved that email field and added that on to the response. So very simple update that was in the API. And then in the front end, so that will be this file, I made another small change to actually display it. So you can see over here, after I get the API, I have added these two lines. So get the primary email, that particular div, the text content, change to data.email, and for the backup email again, set it to data.backup email. If that backup email does not exist, if the property is not there, if it's null, this is our fallback text, which is not set. And I'll show you how it looks in the HTML. This is the one. Yeah, these two. So you can see I have two p tags over here, and then I have a span. So it is not a div, it's a span. Just to, spans are usually inline automatically, so less, CSS for me. I have an ID of primary email and backup email. So currently it just has these three dots, ellipsis. I'm going to replace that ellipsis with the actual data I get back from making the API call. So that's it, straightforward. That was for the email. Now I'm going to show you how the idea part looks. So you would have already seen this template if you've been following along. I have this div called pending idea. It has an idea of pending idea. Exactly parallel to this, a sibling div is going to be our published idea. So all the way at the bottom, it starts over here. Both of this have the height class initially on page load. Then I make the API request, I get the data. If everything comes back fine, if it's a 200 code, then I check, does it have a status of published or does it have a status of draft? If it is a published idea, I'm going to remove this height class. It becomes visible and this stuff is going to get displayed on the screen. So you can see over here, this is how the structure of the page looks. So for example, I have a h4 tag, which is going to be centerline. That is the title, the name of the idea, and it's empty, right? So I just have IDs or classes over here. I reference them with the JavaScript, which I'll show you right now. And once I get the data, I just populate the text content with the data that I've got. So add, ID or name or text content, set it to data.name. So similarly, in that fashion, for all of the tags that you're seeing over here, I have followed the same thing. I will show you, line by line the JavaScript also, some of the changes, but it's pretty minor. And as I said, comments I've not worked on yet. This is going to be one of the major changes. I'm currently working on the API. Maybe I'll give you a short sneak peek of the current changes I've done, even though it's not actually published, but I'll show that to you anyways. So this is the idea.js. This is the JavaScript file for that HTML. This is what's loaded when the HTML page is loaded for the first time. So if I scroll down, you can see here at this stage. So this is basically page loads, JavaScript loads. We make the request using the fetch API. And then when the data comes back, we see if data.status is equal to draft. If it is, this stuff you've seen. If it's not, we come over here. That means it has a status of published. It will be one of them. And then, as I said, very simple. We just say that particular, we reference that DOM element and say dot text content, set it to what we get back from the API. I don't think there's that much more. Some small logic, you would have seen logic like this in other parts of the JavaScript page. This is for the members. So we get back the data, and what we do is we loop through the members, and then for each member, this is basically how the HTML looks. So we inject the handle, the name of the member. These are all dynamic stuff, right? So let's say we have 5 members. Each member is going to have a name. They're going to have a unique handle or URL, and we're going to add those names and these URLs into the HTML template like this using the syntax. And then I'm going to append this basically to this empty string. We look to the members, how many members, we create this dynamic HTML string, we keep adding it on to the string, and then towards the end we just set this as HTML. Inner HTML, especially in, yeah, I think it's fine over here. I want to say something else, I forgot. Yeah, and then there was this small, you might see this line. This is a little weird. So basically, what I realized is in the text area where I'm allowing people to explain their idea in detail, even though they keep hitting enter and creating new lines, when I displayed it, those new lines didn't show up. So I just created this simple logic. So I take that entire string which is stored, and then I say dot split. So this backslash n, this is a new line character. So this represents a new line where people hit enter and goes to the next line. That is that character. So I split the string that the user has typed in using that character. So wherever that character is there, I remove it and I create a new string. So it's basically an array of strings. And then I join it again. But now those joins, the places where I split them, I add this BR tag, so a line break. So every time they hit that enter key and they go to the new line, I replace that with the actual line break tag, HTML tag. So I am able to create those, nice line breaks that you see over here. Otherwise, they weren't showing up on the page. And no, I don't think there's that much. Let's see. This is for the links. Okay, so the reason that this is a much larger set of lines over here and it's not simple like this is because I thought rather than literally typing out the HTML, since this was a very simple DOM operation, DOM manipulation, I thought let's just do it the proper JavaScript way. So I say document.create element and set attribute class list.add. I was literally manipulating the DOM line by line instead of this is a, how to say, I don't know what the right word for it is, but very manual, and I don't know, this is a not the most straightforward way to do. But when you have these complex things that you want to add to the DOM, sometimes it's just simple to complete it in 2 lines rather than wasting so many lines of JavaScript like this. So that's all I did over here because as you see this page static, you make the API request, populate the page. That's all. The only JavaScript dynamic stuff on the page would be this upvote button and then the comment section, both of which are not ready right now. So that's for a later day. Right now, I will just show you my progress, even though it's not committed, the progress on the comment section. So you can see I have this discuss.js file inside the API folder. Right now, only one API is ready, and that is um, where am I? Yeah, to post a new comment. So we check is a user logged in, make sure they're not unauthorized. We check that basically we are only allowing people to post comments for ideas. That's the only thing on the platform right now. In the future, I want to allow companies to create profiles, but that's for a later time. So I check if the super type is idea. Anyways, if this jargon seems weird for you, I'll explain in the next video. This is all some basic validation. Check if all the IDs that they submit are valid, and let's see, do that basic validation and then actually insert the comment. So that's that API. This is the getting the comments. This API is still in progress. I have some work to do, but that's it. Videos wrapped up. I'm done. As always, thank you so much for watching, especially if you stayed through the entire video. It means a lot to me because I know sometimes these videos can be dry and a lot of people might not understand what I'm talking about because it's quite technical. But this is the overall idea project. I feel that it should not be to a very niche audience. I want to make it very public and accessible to everyone because coming up with ideas, launching businesses, this is something that should be very normal in our society, and I want a lot of people to get access to it. I want to remove the frictions. So this project means a lot to me, and hopefully I can get this out as soon as possible. uh, the reason I'm creating this video is to one thing to motivate myself to make consistent progress and to increase transparency. I want to show you how it looks like working on, any project like this. This is the first time I might be doing so many things wrong, but at least I'm able to make this open and public, learn from other people, and hopefully you can learn also. And I'll just say this once again: your suggestion, feedback, greatly appreciated. If you can contact me personally or publicly on YouTube, any other social media platform, definitely welcome. Anything, whether it's feedback, you want to give suggestions, or you just want to talk about the idea and what you think about it, I would love to hear from you. So I think that's it. I want to keep this video short. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.